We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out Nightfeeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between.
Welcome to Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. Episode 13.
Hey.
Another lucky number.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We are all about our lucky numbers. Okay, so this is Baby on the Move and Us on the Move with Baby. So Baby crawling, that opens up a whole other world. It's like, what happened to the little baby?
Like we just had them.
I know.
And then they're crawling.
Then they're
Surreal
crawling
moments.
all over the place.
All over. Oh my gosh.
Surreal. And then us traveling with Baby, which is a whole
different
situation.
ball game. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Let's start with Baby on the Move. Nicole, I know Saint started crawling super early.
Yeah, at
So
6 months, he was actually crawling backwards.
Oh my God.
He started
I wonder
crawling
if that
backwards.
means something.
He's like, beep, yeah,
beep,
he crawled backwards. But he would get frustrated. And he'd like cry. Like, you know the frustrated like noise that they would make?
Yes.
He'd get frustrated because he wanted to go forward but was going
Oh,
backwards.
that's so
He's
cute.
like, what's happening?
Yeah, and then eventually it clicked. And I have it on camera of like when he went forward. It was, so 6 months he started crawling backwards. At 7 months he crawled forward. Yeah,
And we were just Googling before this what the age,
Because we
what
already
the
forgot.
We already forgot when our baby's usually crawling.
Yeah.
So Dr. Google says between 6 to 10 months. So 6 is very much on the early end, and that is
Super
wild.
early. Yeah.
That
But I
is
think
amazing.
that also connects with his temperament.
Yeah.
Which connects to sleep, which I do like. I want to have a whole episode about sleep,
Yeah,
but
we
I
need
think
to
it's
do
all
that.
connected with his temperament. So he's early on a lot of milestones, but it affects his sleep too. in a certain
Because
way.
he's just so excited.
He's so
like,
excited.
I want to do all
he's
the
moving.
things.
And it's exciting until he's on the bed.
Yes.
And then
Okay, you brought that up last episode that we need to talk about these ways to keep Baby on the bed.
and keep baby safe, period.
Yes, keep Baby safe. And you, out of us three, are the only one that does co-sleeping. So explain how we would make that happen. Like making sure Baby stays on the bed and
on
safe.
the bed
When he's now crawling.
When he's crawling, so he crawls really fast at that time, like really fast. So we have a king size bed, so he would crawl back and forth before bed. And so I would be like, okay, I would change him on our bed into his pajama, change his like diapers and all of that right before bed. And it's not funny, it's so sad. And so
And you don't have
crawling.
carpet.
I don't have carpet.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember mom saying like on Instagram or like in conversation, like, it's a rite of passage. Babies always fall off the bed. I'm like, I still don't like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, my baby's not going to fall off the bed.
I'm not going to be the one.
I am right there all the time. It's impossible for him to. No, it happened.
Oh,
Yes.
How old?
Oh, I don't remember.
Like around the 6
like
months?
when he just started
7,
crawling, kind of?
7,
Okay.
8 months maybe.
Okay, so he
that is
falls
scary.
off.
So I'm at the edge of the bed and I'm like, Saint, come here. So he's like crawling on one, and I'm like the toilet skate, like trying to like
goalie.
So then he crawls on one side to like run to this side. Then he crawls on the other side. I'm running on the other side to try and get him. And I had the cart, like the cart that we all had on the side of the bed.
Yeah.
He reached for the cart and he miscalculated and he fell.
No.
And I was like, no. It all happened in slow motion. I was like running, like diving to get him.
Baby.
And he fell. And that was the first time that he had like a big cry. And like it was like, you know those cries where it's like silent at first?
Yes.
He was like, had a big,
The worst.
it was coming, and then a
building
big
up.
cry, and I was like, oh my, and I was picking him up, I was hugging him, I was kissing him, I was apologizing to him. And then the crazy thing is that's also the first time I saw how resilient he is, where he was like over it in like a minute.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's more scary. for
Yeah.
them.
It was
super
It's not
scary.
that he got hurt, but it's just like,
And the like not crying initially is like they're like shocked, like or they need to like catch their breath.
Shocked, yeah.
Because sometimes like the wind gets kind of knocked out of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like as moms, like that scares me more. Than her immediately letting out a cry. You know, it's
and that's also
scary.
the first time that I was like introduced to that type of cry. So now when he does have like big tumbles or big falls, he does that. It's a quiet cry at first, and then it's like a big cry. And then after that happened, I called Zaire immediately, And Zaire, of course, he was upset about it, but he was like, is he okay? And I'm like, yes, he's okay. I start calling my girlfriends.
And also, it's not like you were negligent.
No,
you were there.
I was
You just
right
couldn't
there.
get him
Fast enough,
exactly.
And so I called my sister-in-law. I called my cousin. Both of them have kids. And they're both like, it's okay. It happens. So they're like reassuring me that it's okay. They're like, is he okay? Yeah. What's the height? Because they say that if they fall at a height that's double their size, then that's an issue. If they don't cry, that's an issue. Then those are times to take them to...
and your bed isn't that high?
It's not that high, yeah. And then it was... what's the other thing? Oh, not to put him to sleep. So it was it was close to his nap time. So I'm like, you're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
So at that point, he only had one nap. And at that early was like insane. But he did have like a big un bollo, like right here, like a big bump. And I was just like so sad about it, that it happened. But I mean, it happened. And I feel like a lot of moms can relate that it's not that, again, like we weren't negligent. It's just he's just so fast. And unfortunately, now I'm in that like category of like, well, it's a mom initiation or whatever, passage of whatever.
Yeah, rite of passage.
Yeah, hate it. But
Christine, when did Poppy start crawling?
She started trying at like 7 and then got it by like 8. And I remember we were watching her on the monitor and she had just gotten up from her nap and we were kind of like at the point where do we need to bring the mattress down because she's like kind of high, when they're like still up high with the mattress. And so we're watching the video and we're like, nah, she's fine. She's just kind of like rolling around. And then she like gets on all fours and we're like, oh my God. And we're just like watching her still in the monitor because we didn't want to like interrupt her and have her like stop. And then she just like, she just like does like 2 little crawls and we're like, oh my God, is she crawling? Oh my God, she's crawling.
Wow.
And then we like ran in the room and she just like looks back at us like, what? I was
just doing my thing.
Yeah. I was like, oh my. And it was like a weird nap because usually she would be in a sleep sack, but it was hot during the day. And so we had just like put her down without anything.
That's interesting.
And
she like needed her freedom.
Yeah. She was like, here I go.
How old was she?
She was 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleep sack, Nicole, does Saint no, because he sweats a lot.
He sweats a lot, yeah. He would never rock with it.
Christine,
we
Poppy?
just stopped like as of this week.
Really?
But she asks for it sometimes. She'll say like, get my sleep sack.
That's
so
cute.
I'm like, okay. So I've kept one because I'm like, it's going to start getting hot. And so we have like the sheet like type of one, the like 0.5 tog or whatever. And so I kept that one. The other ones I have in a box to like give to my brother for the baby. Yeah. Because I'm like, she doesn't technically need it anymore. And now that it's hot, especially because now she runs to our room, I'm like trying to. And so for the winter, I think I'll get her a walkable one again because she likes it. Yeah. And because she does sometimes kick her blankets off and wake up because she's cold. So that's the only reason. But what about Santi?
Santi's growing out of his, like literally right now. Yesterday, I'm like, dude, this kid... He's growing very fast. Yeah. And he's massive. So he's a
Poppy's in the extra large one right now.
Yeah. So is Santi.
Wow. What?
He's a big guy.
What brand?
Nested Bean.
Okay. Yeah. You should try Kite Baby. The Kite Baby ones could like fit
I have that pinned. Yeah. I'm like
they're literally so long.
I have that pinned and they have the walkable ones. Yes, that's what I was looking at those because his isn't a walkable one and I'm like, do I want to keep him in it?
Because the Nested Bean's like weighted, right? It's so like, the Kite Babies are not weighted. Yeah.
But Henry and I were having this conversation last night because literally I was putting him in it and I'm like, his feet are like right at the pushing edge. The edge. Yeah. And I was like, do we get him another one? And Henry's like, I don't think so because it's going to be summer. Yeah. And then they say between 12 to 24 months, like you could still use it or you could still not. And he's 15 months. So I'm like, I'm kind of scared of, a year and a half. I'm kind of scared of like giving him a blanket. Still,
yeah.
Like,
I was at that age
too.
Suffocation? I was too.
Suffocation.
Yeah, like them not being able to move it.
I know he can move it because like we've taught him like the games to play and like take it off his face. But I feel like how you said Poppy still gets cold and then it wakes her up. Like he's just used to being in it. You know, so him having to, do this. Yeah. And he's a crazy sleeper too. I know it's going to like end up who knows where. And then he's going to wake up like, what's going on?
Yes, that's exactly why I kept it on her. Because even now, she still won't really put the blankets back on her. She'd rather run to my room, tell me to put the blankets back on her.
She's like, Mom, I need my blanket.
Yeah, put the blanket on me.
I love that.
So, yes. Okay, Santi crawling.
Santi crawling was a late one.
Okay.
He was on the later. He was 10 months. Mm-hmm, and he's kind of late with all of those milestones, even walking. Like he just started walking maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
And now he's like waddling. Like he's still not comfortable to do it anywhere other than our house. But before it was like for treats, we'd put pups. And then he'd like walk to the pups. And within the last week, he's actually just walking just to walk. So I'm like, he's not walking for pups. That's great. But like we've taken him to indoor like soft play, and he won't do it there. He's like, I don't know these kids.
Yeah.
That's cute.
But he has been later on that spectrum, and so at all of his appointments, his 12-month, his 15-month, which we just had, we ask like, why is he on the later side? And they're like, it's because he's massive. Like he's a big kid.
They do say that about bigger babies, especially boys that have like really like bigger heads. Like my brother was like that too, because the weight proportion.
It's the balance.
It's like
it's
they
the gravity.
have to balance.
Saint
It's
has
a little
big
bit
head.
harder for them to balance.
But I feel like Saint is littler.
He's tall though.
Is he?
He also has big feet. He's size 8.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he's almost 2, being size 8. Like,
that
he's
is
a big,
because Poppy's a size 8 and she's 3.
3. I know. Yeah, my niece is size
And
9.
she has a big foot. Like it's not like she's small. Like
he's size 8.
Because I saw that you posted something like in the 98th percentile
I
for
saw that,
height, and so is
tall.
Poppy. I think she's like 93 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
tall, big,
tall
baby.
kids.
But you know what? Also, Santi was early with teeth. No,
Super early with teeth.
Saint was
So
late
Poppy
with
was.
teeth. Saint didn't get his first tooth until 10 months.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but he was early with walking, late with teeth.
How
They're-
early with teeth? Because Poppy was 5 months.
Probably 3 months, like early. And I remember it was that early because I was still just getting out of the mastitis fog. And I'm like, oh,
Great.
fudge.
Yeah.
Now
Here
I have
comes
to
a
work.
tooth.
Like, I didn't know what breastfeeding a child with teeth was going to be like. All I knew is that breastfeeding a child with gummies was still messing me up. So I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to be messed up even more. And it was like right around that 3-month period.
Yeah, I remember she started teething at 3 months, but then it really didn't cut until like right at the top of 5.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother-in-law told me, because I would say like, she's teething, and my other friends would be like, there's no way, like she's way too little.
Yeah.
And then my mother-in-law was over, she's like, oh no, like Drew grew teeth really early, and she was like, I didn't even know. This is the 80s for you. She's like, I didn't even know he had teeth until he had like 2 of them. She was like, I didn't know it was so early. But
ours was at 3 months because I think the last episode we were talking about the 4-month regression. By that 4-month regression, the teething was like full on. It was breaking. Yeah.
Oh
so
my goodness.
So his teeth came very early, but his walking, crawling, even him being able to sit up. Like I remember he hated tummy time, and then him sitting up was also hard. And again, they were like, it's because his head's big. Like he's just a big kid.
It's way more typical for boys.
Yeah,
it's way more typical for boys to have like big heads and be like top heavy in that way.
But it was exciting because I went on a trip with my sister, and so him seeing kids, and we've noticed this, him seeing kids do things. He's like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
I could do that. Like, we can tell him all we want. Like, look, Mama's like, not. And he's like, nah, don't want it.
Yeah.
But when we noticed when we started taking him to the soft play, he'll see, and he always gravitates towards the little girls. Yeah. Like, there was this little girl, and she blew him a kiss, and he was like obsessed with her after. And I'm like, oh my God, it's starting. So cute. And she walked away. And I'm like, oh, se fue. And he's like, he gets up, and I'm like, dude, now this guy wants to try to walk. Now
he's like, hold on, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. Watch me go.
Henry and I are just watching him like, oh my God, it's like he just needs more kids around him. So being with my sister and her kids, it brings it out. And I wish like we lived closer and he saw them more, because it really does make a difference. And that's why they say the second child starts doing it way sooner, because they have that little role model.
Yeah.
And that kind of never stops, because I feel like we try to do that with Poppy with even potty training. Like she had little friends, or her cousins. I'd be like, look at Ava. Look at where Ava's going to the potty. You know, and I feel like they just constantly get inspired by like their older cousins, friends. Like
I need to ask you about potty training, because now Saint is.
We'll have a whole episode.
Are you getting
on
ready?
Well, he keeps telling me that he's pooping. He'll be like, Mama, poo. And like he either did poop or he needs to poop.
Yeah.
So, okay, we need to get
Yes.
When I'm ready,
oh my God. But wait, I want to touch on the crawling thing. So I feel like what people don't realize is babies putting everything in their mouths is taken to a whole new level when they start crawling.
Yeah.
And I realize also that not all babies put everything in their mouth. And there are some babies who like can pass by something and they're fine, but I feel like I did not have that child.
Santi really didn't put a lot of things in his mouth.
Everything in her mouth always. Like it was like little, it's like they find the littlest things that like you didn't even see on the floor. Yeah. And it's like a bean from like 3 weeks ago that she put down there. And I'm like, no, because now it's like bean. Hard and shriveled and like could choke on it. Oh my God, the amount of times that I had to like wrestle things out of her, and like then she would bite me. Like it wasn't like she allowed me to like get the thing. Like then I'd stick my hand in there, she'd bite me. It was a whole thing. And I feel like my nephew, he wouldn't put everything in his mouth.
Yeah.
So I just automatically, having Poppy first, like I thought every kid was like this. And it's like, no. Sometimes you have the kid who puts absolutely, or like will chew on things. Still till this day, Poppy will go down on the floor and like try to lick water off the floor. And I'm like, why? Why are you
Wait, does she think she's a dog?
Yeah, she does pretend she's a dog.
Our neighbor thinks he's a dog. And we're like, oh.
Poppy
and like he gets on the floor and thinks he's a dog.
She's different animals all the time. So throughout the day, we could go through 25 animals of what different, but all of them apparently drink water off the floor.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But like at the time when she was that small and she was crawling, we did have a dog. And so that was obviously harder because she was always trying to get the water, the food. Yeah. And again, like we'd go to my nephew's and he wouldn't touch any of that stuff. Yeah. And Poppy was like older and she'd still go over to the water and still go over to the things. And I feel like the fear of choking and the like keeping baby safe wasn't as much like the bed thing for me as much as it was like all the little things on the floor and her choking on random things because she would like still, like I remember one time she put like those wiggly eyes for crafts that would come off of something.
So this is already like at a much older age if she's playing with the wiggly eyes.
She wasn't playing with it. It was like from something else and she put it in her mouth and I was like, what the heck is she choking on? And it was because it was on the floor and she was crawling around and
she's like, it's on the floor, it's mine.
It's mine. We also implemented no shoes in the house at that point. Which we already had kind of done, but I feel like people don't think about that as much until you have a crawling baby where you're like, oh, hell no.
Absolutely
That is not like poo-poo feet coming in my house.
Hell no.
Walking all over where my baby is.
I have the disposable slippers.
Oh my God,
if people want to come over, I give you disposable slippers.
Yeah.
If you're somebody to like not clean the house, but like fix a pipe or something, I have little shoe covers.
Yep.
Like you're not wearing shoes in the house.
Yep.
But that was just like me off top because I'm a little germaphobe.
Yeah.
So off top, I was like, no, that's not happening.
Like I thought about it a little bit, but obviously then you see your baby's hands all over the floor and you're like,
then they put
okay,
their
this
hands
is
in
next
their mouth?
level.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you know, it's
a
crazy
lot.
because we've never allowed shoes in the house either, but sometimes we'll have people over that are just like not okay with that.
Yeah, they're not comfortable taking their shoes off. Yeah.
Or just they think it's stupid. And I'm like, okay, but that's our house.
Yep.
So
our house rule. They'll do it, but it's just like a big deal.
I feel like it's the older generation for us.
More. It's not even like an older generation thing. Like my parents know to like zip it and like they'll just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, same. My mom too.
Yeah, there's like people that are just like, what? Why? Like, I'm like, because that's how we are.
Yeah, that's my house.
Listen, when people were coming over early to visit Saint too, and I'm like, okay, wash your hands, right? But I would say, wash your hands with warm water and soap, please. Yeah. Like, it has to be warm water.
Yeah.
And like
kills the germs.
Because like I'll hear it, and some people will be like, turn on the water for like a second. I'm like, what did that do?
That's not washing your hands.
What did that do? Like warm water, soap. And I would always say with warm water and soap. And they're like,
so
I know how to wash my hands.
Speaking of being a germaphobe, like going into the travel thing, how were you when you first started? Like, because obviously hotels and airplanes, like all the things are so like.
I haven't been on an airplane yet.
Okay.
I think I will have a heart attack with that.
Yeah.
Because I am super, like even me going on an airplane, I wipe everything down before I sit down.
Yeah.
So to do that with a baby, I don't know how I would do it yet. I feel like I'm going to need advice from both of you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to hotels, oh my gosh, especially with a baby who's crawling.
Especially with the remotes.
Oh my God, the remote.
God.
So like
they're so germy.
So oh my gosh, and the pack and play or like the cribs too that they have there.
Yeah. You can get your own sheets. So I always take my own pack and play sheets.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
So when it comes, we've had staycations. So when it comes to germs though, with that, it was hell when Saint was crawling because he wanted to crawl everywhere, and I only wanted him on the bed because I didn't want him to crawl on the floor. But the bed, I didn't want him to fall off the bed because I had that trauma. So then I was just out with him. Like we would go to like the grassy area of the hotel and stuff like that. But it was that hotel we were there for like 1 or 2 nights.
How old was he for the first trip?
So for the first trip he was like 3 months. The crawling trip he was like 8 months maybe.
3 months, is that when you went to Big Bear?
No, 3 months we went to Pasea in Hermosa Beach, I think it is.
Nice.
Or Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and packing too for that trip.
Oh my gosh. Packing for every trip when you have a child is like the mental load of that is actually insane. For moms.
Yes.
For moms.
So it's hell. So, okay, Saint was 3 months the first time. We're like, we need like a little staycation, right? I'm a super first-time mom. Like, we need the sterilizer. We need to make sure we need like 1 million diapers and
all
wipes
the breast things.
All the breast
point,
things.
it's all
I
the
started
breast
packing
things.
the week of. I started putting things aside. I had like a little bag for him. I had everything like, and then I was packing stuff. I'm like, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Because at that age, they're pooping and throwing up and like, or spitting up and pooping on everything. Mm-hmm. So it's like, whereas normally when you have an older kid, it's maybe 2 outfits a day. When they're that little, it's like probably
so many
4.
outfits. And then again, I was still breastfeeding. I was pumping, and I had supplemental frozen milk from a donor.
Oh my god!
So I had to make sure that the room had like a refrigerator or a freezer. And if they didn't have a freezer, then is there an ice thing nearby? If there's buckets, like how am I like to do all of that? And he wasn't eating yet any solids. And even when he was eating solids, it was like strawberries and stuff. So I'm like, what can I bring? Is it going to be fresh? If it's mushy, he won't want it. It's like all the things that you think about. And meanwhile, Zaire's like, dude.
Always.
No
Here
clue.
we go on
This is
vacation.
going to be great. I can't wait for vacation.
Yeah, he has no clue of all the stuff I'm packing. And he's like, did you pack so-and-so? And should I bring? And I'm like, listen.
Worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself.
My husband's job is to play Tetris with the car because we also did staycation / like more road trips in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like in those beginning stages, like we took our own pack and play and things like that. And so obviously we were trying to cram everything in the car. So his mental load was, how the hell am I going to fit this all in the car?
Yeah. So you have one job, fit it.
Yes, fit it all in. My whole job was bring as much shit as you need for the child.
Yeah.
And your husband is going to figure out how we take it all, you know?
And then, but then the audacity that Zaire had, I'm sorry, babe, I love you so much.
Oh, wait, I'm ready for this.
The audacity of him being like, we don't need all of this. And I'm like, until we need it. And you're like, oh, you didn't bring so-and-so?
Well, you don't need the breast pump, but I do.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So he was like, why do we need the sterilizer? And I'm like, the big old sterilizer to sterilize bottles. I'm like, to sterilize the bottles. Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
What else is it for?
But then we just had so many bags. And we were there for like 2 nights. And he's like, all of these things. And I'm like, but we needed everything. Yeah. Everything that we brought, we ended up needing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like bringing the extra stuff and then you end up using it. You're like, okay, well, now and then it teaches you for the next trip though. Yeah. Because then next trip you're like, okay, we didn't use all this stuff. So now we can pack a little bit lighter.
Or you find ways to make it work. Like maybe I didn't need the sterilizer if I had warm water and I can do this with the bottles or like you just find ways.
But I need the sterilizer.
That is not optional.
I need a but if I could have a sterilizer for everything, listen, I would.
You would sterilize everything.
Wow. Everything.
I was thinking about the food thing too because we took I think San Diego was her first like staycation, and when she had just started baby led weaning, and so there wasn't a lot of things that like we were willing to give her from like a restaurant, and so it was like a lot of storing all the things in the fridge and making sure that it was fresh, and then some of the stuff that we needed to freeze. Like I remember my husband went and got like thermos type of like food containers just to like obviously help us like store things easier. And then we also took the bottle warmer and we used that to warm up her food. So there was like a little cage thing that you could drop in there. And so I brought glass containers that fit in there, and then we put the food in there, like if it was like butternut squash or like whatever it was, because it didn't have a microwave in there. It was so small. And so we just used that thing, and that was how we did it. And I was like, wow, we were really like being resourceful. Yeah. That was amazing. It's just the things that you don't think about. And
I was sending my husband downstairs to the microwave. Yeah. I'm like, here's the food. Go downstairs to the lobby and microwave.
Wait, I want to know too. Okay, you've traveled to different countries with your baby. So how do you like
food? Yeah.
When it comes to food, what do you do?
Honestly, we went to Mexico and Colombia. So if you can read Spanish, which I could read a little and my husband can read, that worked out really well because their food options are actually much better than here.
Oh,
And it was super cool. Like, that was a great experience because they don't add stuff to their food. They don't add like all these crazy things. So we have this app where you could like scan a product and it'll
the
like
Yucca app?
yes. Well, that and the Bobby app.
Yeah.
So we use both. And like, so we were scanning things and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we actually brought stuff home. Like pure at that time, he was mainly like on a lot of purees and stuff like that. So we were like scanning all the purees, all of like the everything, the little,
I love this.
The little in Colombia, he loved these little like teething crackers that they had, like all kinds of really cute things.
Yeah.
And other than that, he's plant-based. So luckily he has been to Latin countries where beans or lentils are like,
and that's a staple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like happy and fine with that. He loves avocado.
Yep.
He loves quinoa, which isn't as big in Mexico as it is in like Colombia. And in our household, like he's used to quinoa.
Yeah.
So we eat like a lot of quinoa. So the food there was actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Like great experience.
So I don't think I realized that he was plant-based just like y'all.
Yeah, so I was telling you guys, we tried to give him eggs, and he doesn't like it.
Oh, he doesn't like eggs. I remember. So what about like
chicken?
I mean, you don't cook
no
chicken.
chicken.
You don't.
No. No, like husband doesn't even eat chicken.
Wow.
Like husband is vegetarian, pescatarian. Sometimes he'll eat fish. So I always said like, Santi's diet can consist of dads because I'm not gonna like have Henry eating fish, and he's like, I want to try it, and I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
So when Henry eats fish, if he wants to try fish, he will try fish, but husband doesn't eat chicken.
Has he tried the fish or no?
Santi?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
He's never had meat. So as of now, he is still plant-based other than the times I've tried to force him to eat eggs.
But are you guys open to like letting him have chicken, like chicken nuggets?
Chicken?
Like...
I don't think so. Not in America.
Really?
Like that, and that's the thing for why my husband is pescatarian, vegetarian. When we go to Colombia, he will eat red meat. He will eat pork. He will eat chicken.
Henry will?
Yeah. Because there's no antibiotics in those.
Right.
And it's much.
And it's so expensive here to get anything organic.
Yeah.
Without.
Well, and
all
even
stuff.
the organic isn't really
to the standard
organic.
Yeah.
So when we go out of country or like in Japan, he'll eat.
And it doesn't mess up his stomach or anything.
And that's the thing. He has like a sensitive stomach too. So he's like, I feel the difference if I were to eat it here versus if I ate it in other countries.
Wow. I need to tell Zaire. Well, he'll see it when he watches this.
Yeah. So I'm not against him trying food, but for the baby, I'm more concerned with like the toxic things that are in the food.
100%.
So him eating like chicken here is a nah. Like, and like my family knows that when it's like, when he's old enough for like chicken nuggets, it's going to be like, no, he's not eating chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Wow, no.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. We also want to talk, Crystal, you've been the biggest traveler, obviously, of the three of us.
Yes.
I have taken Poppy on one flight.
Okay.
But
how old was she?
She was 9 months, and we plan on taking her, hopefully at the end of the year, we're going to go on another trip. And I feel like she's finally at the age now where it's going to be fun again. Because I feel like 9 months was such a sweet spot where it was fun. Like she was crawling, but she didn't really like want to crawl down the aisleway, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge germaphobe, but obviously there is a line. Okay. And the line is, oh God. Yeah. She definitely wanted to crawl like we were in like the lounge, like the Admiral's Lounge or whatever. And I'm like, Siri. Thankfully, like there's mostly adults in there, so it kind of felt like cleaner. Safer. But like I couldn't keep her off the floor, like period. So I just kept picking her up and like sanitizing her. But I feel like prepping for that 9 month trip obviously was like, we're flying across the country, so we do need to like pack all the just in case things. And my husband would always tell me, if worst case, there's somewhere we can buy something.
Yeah.
Do not stress. Like if we forget it, I'm like, but then we have to spend the extra
You can say
money.
that as much as you want, but to a mom, it's like, but I want my things. I want the baby's things.
My things. So I feel like it was like for as far as her age, 9 months was perfect for us, like just starting to crawl. I even think like if I had another, I would know, obviously, like with your first baby, you're so much more anxious and like, I don't want to take him out. Yeah, I would have flown with her earlier, knowing that would have been an easier age to like travel at. I would do that again. Like I obviously having friends that do that now, but I think the thing with the 9 month was obviously making sure that they had like things at the hotel, for her. And so we stayed at a hotel where they literally had a metal crib.
Oh, no.
Which I have never seen a metal crib in my life until this day. And I was like, I didn't ask them.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. I didn't ask them like what it like a guy invented. Exactly. For sure. I didn't think to ask them what material the crib was made out of. I just called to see, and because I knew she wouldn't sleep in a pack and play, I was like, do you guys have an actual crib? She was like, yes. I'm like, perfect. We go, show up, it's a metal crib.
Wow.
Tell me why within 5 minutes of being there, Poppy busts her lip on this crib. Yes. Thank God no stitches or anything, but like full cut down the middle, busted her lip.
Did you talk to like the hotel about it? And
no.
What?
I mean,
the scene that I would have sunned.
She was a headbutter, so it's not like it was like an act. Like she fully did it herself.
Santi is a headbutter.
Oh my God.
He's scorpions and headbutts.
Oh my God.
Like we know when we pick him up and like if we know he's going to like have an issue with it, like take him from his toys, we're like, we're far from him already. Because he's going to do something crazy. We're like, oh.
Yeah, she's busted my lip from headbutting me before.
So has Saint.
So I think that, again, like that wasn't something that I thought about, but like going to all the different places that you have, like what do you usually do? Are you staying at hotels? Are you staying at Airbnbs? What's the flight like?
Okay, can we just stop and just talk about how dope this recording studio is? I feel like everyone hits me about like where it's at, how cool it is, what's the situation. It's called Project Studios in Monterey Park.
Everything is here. And the staff does everything for you as well. The editing, the producing, the lighting.
The cameras.
Everything. We need that good lighting. Yeah. We got it here.
And you could create such dope content here. Like downstairs is a full production area that literally is like for music videos, big scale production. And next door they even have a place where like you can do flat lays if you sell clothing, jewelry, whatever you sell. It's like professional level studio next door that you can use.
And it's only 9 minutes from downtown LA. And there's parking here in LA. It's so annoying to find parking. And I know that was a big thing when we were looking for podcast space, was where in LA that we can all park and feel safe and feel comfortable. Yes. And that is here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can see more of all the fun stuff they do at Project LA. And you can schedule a creative consultation at projectstudios.com.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, I have stayed at hotels. I also wasn't really a fan for multiple reasons. I stayed at a hotel in San Diego. I did not like the crib at all. It was like a crib. It reminded me of like a crib from like the 1950s in like 1950s hospital or like a psych ward.
It was white.
Was
like,
it metal?
It was, I think, I don't remember what it was. I was just like, this is so old. And it was like square and loud and like had wheels on it. That was just like, it was just creepy. So for that reason, I didn't like it. But he's a good sleeper, so he was out.
He didn't care.
I just personally didn't like it. Yeah. And then also with the hotels, it's just so hard. You have to be quiet like the whole time.
That's the worst.
Like with their naps.
While
they're sleeping, like when they go to sleep, you're gonna have to go to sleep. So like we learned that real quick. Like unless we get a hotel room with a bedroom,
extra room,
this like honestly doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because we're like stuck here. We can't even watch TV. We're like.
Yes.
And then why is my husband always so loud when the baby's sleeping? Why? He's like, then he has to go to the restroom. Walking. I'm like, your footsteps are so freaking
If you wake
loud
up to
right
pee, I'm actually going to murder you.
Yes,
okay?
like you're holding it all night now. So that was actually more stressful. I would definitely prefer renting Airbnb, VRBO, like something, or a hotel room with a room. Like at least one room, because they could have the living room or vice versa, whatever.
And thinking about that, I'm like, if your baby's not used to sleeping in the same room as you, which Poppy was not, on that trip, we had to put the crib in between the two queen beds. And the entire time she's like looking through the things like, oh, mama, papa, mama. She's just like, wait, why is everyone in here? Why do we all get to sleep over?
Yeah, and that's cute. And Santi also was like, oh, we're all in here. Like, why am I in here? But you're out there. Like, why am I in the pack and play and you're out there? So like, take me out. And I'm like, so that was just you need
it's rough.
You most likely would prefer an extra room. So learned that. For Airbnbs, now that like I'm booking Airbnbs, like I look for the list and you can filter them. So like for me, pack and play is priority.
Yep.
And then after that, it's like high chair or bathtub. Because we have like at San Diego, the hotel room didn't even have bathtub. It was just a shower. So I was showering with him in there, and Henry was like right there because his little body's all slippery.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so slippery.
So slippery, and I'm slippery. Like I'm fully butt ass naked, and I'm like have to hand him to Henry. Like it's a whole. If you could avoid that, that would be best.
Yeah.
So a bathtub, or I've never traveled with a bathtub, but I'm sure you can, like some kind of foldable situation.
Yeah. Or they have the non-slip mats if you're like weird about the baby touching the bathtub floor.
The bathtub floor,
You can like fold up a mat.
That would be me.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, as far as international travel now, it is Airbnbs. Like when we went to Mexico, we went to Tequila. He was 7 months old.
Okay.
And so we stayed at 2 different places, and I made sure that both either had a crib or a pack and play. So the first one had a pack and play. Fantastic. I take my own sheets. And then the second one had a crib, and I posted this on my stories. It's like the crib was so crazy. Like, here and us, our cribs don't have bumpers or anything on there. This crib had bumpers, ruffles, like I ripped all of that stuff off. I'm like, no. Like,
my baby's not suffocating.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
A whole, like literally the whole thing lined with bumpers. Probably like how our cribs were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it worked. Again, this kid was out, and it was like a thunderstorm. This kid was like,
But he is such a good sleeper. Like I the pack and plays, we got like the one that would get smallest for travel, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Poppy refused to sleep in it. Like we would have to get her to fall asleep, then put her in there. Then the minute she woke up, she was like, like it was like World War III. And I thought, like, if I did it again, would I try to like train her to sleep in it? Like do nap times every so often in her bedroom and that, because she was so against the pack and play. And eventually, like,
did she have like stuffies or anything?
Yes, and we would take them with us.
Yeah, see, we take
to
his
like
stuffies
smell
with
like
us.
her bed and like, but no. So what kind of worked for us is we would take my mom and we get a room with 2 queen beds, and she would sleep with my mom in the bed. She will not sleep with Drew and I in the bed. It's too like squish. She doesn't like being in the middle. Really, even now. And
I love
back
that for
then,
her.
oh my God. Yeah. So when my mom is there, she's used to sleeping with my mom in the bed, because when she sleeps at my mom, she sleeps in the bed with her.
Yeah.
So my mom would just go to sleep with her, and then Drew and I could like go get a drink or whatever, and then come back to the room.
I love that.
But you have to tiptoe.
Yeah, tiptoe. And those freaking hotel doors are so damn heavy. It's like
so heavy.
I'm like, you're just standing like, please don't wake up, please don't wake up, please don't wake up.
We stayed at this one hotel, and this kind of worked. It didn't have like an extra bedroom, but it did have a really big balcony, like right on a lake.
Oh.
And so at night when the baby was asleep, we were just outside. And like, but again,
nice.
if my husband had to pee, I'm like, you're going in a bush. Yeah. Because you're not going inside, and
You're so loud.
Yeah, you're not. And then especially after a drink or two, I'm like, you don't realize how loud you're being.
Yes.
You're not going inside until we go to sleep. So that could kind of work if you want to hang out after the baby goes to sleep.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Are there any products, like any of us, that were like, absolutely we needed this, and what age was our baby when we needed it?
For travel?
Yes. Like
yeah, I had just posted this because we went to Mammoth not too long ago. He has a busy book.
Oh yeah.
And
likes that.
he had this busy book since 3 months. His first road trip to Mammoth. And at 3 months, he didn't know what the heck it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he was just like,
looking
looking at
yeah.
it. And I've literally seen him grow to where
that's
now
awesome.
he can pull apart the things, and they have little puzzles. And I'm like, this thing is literally growing with him, and he's using it more now. And there's still one page that he doesn't understand yet. It has like the markers and the like he'll scribble, but he's not like interested in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in a few months, he's going to be interested in this page. And like now the book will be different for him. So like that one. And there's so many now. Yeah. There's some with like 1 page, 2 page.
Yes.
This is an 8-page busy book. So I would say if you are going to get a busy
novel.
book, make sure it has like the most pages.
Yeah.
Because
Busy books are
my
great.
father-in-law ended up getting us one, and it has like 1 page. And I'm like, what is this? Like, he's done with this book already.
In like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Multiple pages of
Get
here.
the 8 pages or plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mine
that
has that
busy
too.
book has been
A lifesaver.
key. That and the Duna. The Duna stroller, which I'm sad because he's going to outgrow it soon.
I'm surprised he's not already. That's amazing.
He's damn near almost.
Yeah.
We're like, we're keeping him in it. Like, we still have a few more trips planned. I'm
Yeah.
like, we need to keep him in it.
They need to come up with one for toddlers, because that is such like so key for traveling
We
with a small
have
one.
the Yo-Yo Zen. It's still in the box, but I heard that one is really good for travel. But it's not a car seat.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the Doona because it is a stroller and a car seat. So when we are in other countries where they don't require car seats, we have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's in a car seat. And that makes me feel good.
I remember when we went to DC, we were out and we have the Mockingbird stroller. And so we had that all day. And then we were planning on walking back. And then my mom, her like legs started hurting or something. So we were like, okay, we have to get an Uber back. But then I had already called the Uber and then I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do? We don't have a car seat.
Yeah.
So I like put on there that we needed a car seat and the guy was like, yeah, we have a car seat, whatever. We get in there and the car seat was, thank God it was only like 1.5 miles or like 2 miles because it was so sketchy. Like it was like one of the ones that's like soft and like you could adjust it for kids between the ages of like 2 and 6 or something like that.
Like, what is this going to do?
Yes. I was like, what? So I strapped her in and I just like sat next to her and was like holding her the whole time still.
Yeah.
But that was something that I was like, oh my God, like I didn't, it was our first time on a plane with her. We weren't going to take the whole, we didn't take the whole car seat because we ended up staying within walking distance of where we were going. For the most part, we were like in the, what is it, like the National Mall area or whatever in DC. But it was definitely kind of scary. But I feel like now her age, like we do a lot of road trips. We go up north a lot. I would say probably like 4 times a year, like up to Monterey and like Carmel and San Francisco and stuff. And so now that we do have a busy book, but her biggest thing right now is like the Tony box, which you guys have known. Like we love our Tonys so much.
Loves the Tony box.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And so we just got the headphone.
He
oh my
loves
gosh.
it. Yeah.
For his second, it's going to be amazing.
Wait, explain what it is.
Okay,
I don't
so
really
the
know
Tony
what
box
it
is like a speaker where you could put different characters on the box, and it plays stories and songs, and you could also like personalize some of them where you could like say things on them, and it's so cute. And so she has loved her Tony box since she was a little over 1, and I remember we talked about it before Saint turned 1. And now, like when we do road trips, we try to make it more special. Where I'll like buy her a new one, or this last road trip, we got her the Tony's headphones, and so she can kind of feel like she's in her own little world, you know. And so
cool.
I have a literal bin that I keep for our road trips that I just update the older she gets. So like usually it's always the Tony box. Then we have a little baggie where it's all the options of Tonys. Then other things we have in there are like magnet boards. We have different drawing boards. Now she's more into like coloring. So we have that as an option. We have a lot of Melissa and Doug, like the scratcher. There's like scratcher books. There's like the Wow Magic Water pins, sticker books, like all that kind of stuff is just like in there. And those are our biggest saviors because when we normally to drive that drive with like adults only would take us like 5 hours, but we usually stop and we do like one long stop because of the age that she's at. We want her to like get her energy out. So typically we'll go to like a park, or this last time we went to a trampoline park and she was like jumping around and being crazy for a couple hours. We'll go eat, and so what used to take us like, what used to take us 5 hours now takes us like 9 hours.
So how long
But it's
are
more
the
enjoyable.
legs?
Yes.
How long is each leg?
Each leg usually we'll do like 3 hours and then another 3 hours. And so then like ish, that's with, now she's potty trained. So obviously
just about to ask.
We're stopping a lot more for the potty. And so that's adds an extra hour. Then we stop to eat and stuff, which is another couple hours. So this last time when we drove home, it was like a 12-hour drive back.
Gosh.
Which does sound crazy. Like we hit a little bit of traffic, but and towards the end for sure, she was like, I want to get out. And that's when I decided to turn her car seat forward finally because
saw that.
I
Keep
know.
her, I
Oh
know.
my God. Because she was so over it this last trip. And I feel like because it was so long, now just regular car rides, she was like, I don't want to be in here. I don't want to be in here. So I'm like, let me just do this and maybe it'll like help appease her and like keep her more entertained.
Look around,
looking at the road. Oh my God. Yesterday she's like, I see Target. She's like pointing out like it's a whole new world. I feel the entertainment things in the car are so key because obviously like a 3-year-old, we don't do screen time in the car at all. And we don't really do snacks in the car. So because she's gotten car sick. Like when she was smaller, she would throw up in the car.
I've never done snacks
car
in the car. I know a lot of people do, but isn't it like just not safe the way they're
It's not safe,
sitting?
unless somebody's sitting back there with them. Like we would only do it if we were sitting back there with them.
That even scares me though because I'm like, how fast am I going to be able to like
get him out?
Yes, get him out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm terrified.
All the time I give him snacks.
Even when you're by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I always give him stuff that like he can't like choke on. So like the soft bars.
Oh yes, like the melty type of stuff.
So it's not anything that's choke worthy.
Yeah.
That I give him. but
I'm
all
still
the
scared.
time. All the time.
I also don't
I'm
like the
back
mess.
here
I
giving
think
him-
that's another thing. She
Oh yeah, my backseat is crazy.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
gave her cheddar bunnies for the first time in the back because she's now facing me. So I'm like, okay, I could see and like make sure she's not
Yeah.
making a mess. Tell me why I opened the car door this morning. I'm like, oh hell no,
All of
never
it
again,
falls.
never again. There's 7 gold cheddar bunnies on this. No,
Cheddar bunnies.
I
Not
can't
a
do the
cheddar
crumbs
bunny.
and the
Yeah.
like stickiness. It's just like absolute. That's where.
But I know I want to ask about screen time. You said you don't do screen time. She doesn't have an iPad.
No.
iPad.
Yeah,
Zane doesn't have an iPad either. The only time I give him my phone too in the car is if he's like fighting me to get into the car seat. One time it took me almost an hour.
Oh my
until,
gosh.
Until I was like,
Stop.
I need to like stand on business and get this kid.
Yes.
Stand on business. So like I'll like force him in, which like I really don't like
I
doing, but I know
know.
I have to like assert myself, otherwise he has no respect for me. Which like
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So sometimes when I know he's gonna like freak out, I'll give him my phone and I'll show him a little bit of Moana and I'll like put him in, buckle him in, and turn him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be okay, give Mama her phone, and then he'll give it back to me. So
Oh,
he's
that's
not.
good.
So he's not like
No.
addicted to
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So Zaire was like, "Oh, why don't we just give him an iPad for the car?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
Yeah.
not for the car. I don't. When we're eating at restaurants, I don't want him to get
Yeah,
addicted to
same.
any of that.
We
So
don't
he's
either.
just if he gets bored, if he gets like that's why I want to have
Be
all
creative.
the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I have toys in my car too.
Yeah.
That he hasn't seen.
Yeah.
So like I
Yep.
have stuff like that I'll give him too.
Yep.
So okay,
Definitely
good to
every
hear
trip
that
I
new
have
iPad.
new toys.
Yes,
like,
for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Oh, and this
Yes.
last
And
trip we
stickers
went and
too.
he's not on
Stickers.
stickers yet, but like just he's on books.
Yeah.
He loves books. So I
Yeah.
always have new books.
Yeah.
And this last trip we went with my sister and her family, so my niece and nephew, and I got toys like I packed in our luggage.
Yes.
Toys for all the ages. So like
Awesome.
everyone had toys at the house.
Yeah.
And I think that's just key because it's also like a new place.
Yeah.
And it can be scary,
Yeah.
especially like to go to sleep. That's always my main
Yeah.
concern because he is such a good sleeper. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want him to know like this is all good vibes. We are playing
For
like
sure.
new toys, entertained,
Yeah.
and get you so tired that you just go to sleep.
Yeah. And I feel like without having screen time, like we all kind of are on that tip, like it does create, I will say, like it does obviously create more mess because you are going to have a lot more toys than
Yeah.
say if you were to replace 8 toys with an iPad, like obviously, yes, you know, but I do think in the long run, like she is very much more engaged with us. Like we're, you know, it's
Yes.
like we're, even if there's moments throughout the road trip, if you're on the road or in the plane for extended hours, and sometimes, yeah, you do feel like at the toddler age, like maybe they're sick of me too, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like the headphones kind of like help with that and like help her feel like, okay,
With
now
the
I'm having my own little moment,
That's right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that has been amazing. And I think like making sure that I also thought she would get car sick with the screen, and I think some kids do,
Yeah.
because she would get car sick with the food, and some like my husband was the one who pointed it out. He's like, I get car sick looking at my phone. I'm like, me too, in the car. So she probably would too
She
with
probably
watching
does.
something. So we just kind of like ruled it out from the beginning as an option. But
For
I think
sure.
obviously as she gets older, like I'm not opposed to like us going on a road trip when she's like 7 or something and taking an iPad where we could watch a
Right.
movie together, you know, or something like, because
Older.
growing up we did that.
Or, like,
We had
long
a
flights.
TV in the car, you know.
Long
yeah,
flights.
Like
long
watch
flights.
a movie on a
right?
long flight.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I was going to say that about flights now with baby. We have been only taking red eye flights because
Oh,
that is when
uh-huh.
baby sleeps.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about
Smart.
entertaining him. We don't have to
Yes.
worry about like he naturally wants to sleep.
Yeah.
And that was so easy because flying from LA to Miami and then Miami to Colombia
Yeah.
I was so terrified for that.
What
I'm
was
like,
it? 5 hours and
It's 5 hours to Miami and then 3 hours to Colombia.
Okay, got
But
it.
they're all red eye. So we left LA like at 11 p.m. So he was already asleep at home when we put him in the car
Oh,
seat to
yeah.
go to LAX.
He transfers like that. Totally.
I was terrified. It was my first time. Like
Okay.
when I tell you I was so nervous, I was
Yeah.
so nervous because I don't really
Wow.
transfer him.
Because you
Yeah.
think about it like days
Right.
and weeks leading up,
Right.
like
For
how's
sure.
this gonna go down?
Right. And it was an Uber. We took an Uber to the airport. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't know. And my husband like does not want to transfer. I am the transferer.
Yes, yes,
So-
yes.
So I was literally upset. I was like, babe, I'm so nervous. I'm gonna wake him up. Oh my god, it's gonna start this trip off like this whole
Yeah.
flight experience bad. And he was out. Like he did wake up and like look around, and then once
Went
he was
back
in
to
his
sleep.
seat, he was out.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
And then to go through the airport. Luckily, at night it's not that crowded. It's not that
Yeah.
busy, so that's better for a sleeping baby.
Did
and
you
we have
put
his
him in
sound
the
machine,
carrier or Duna?
Duna.
Okay,
He's in
got
the
it.
Duna the whole time.
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah, Duna. And then we have the Hatch sound
Yep.
machine. And then going through TSA, I would say if you can get global entry
Yeah.
with a TSA pre-check. If you, as the adult, have TSA pre-check or global entry, it does not count for your baby. And I know a lot of people think it does. It's not.
I thought it did.
No,
yeah.
they are their own
that's good to
citizen.
know.
They are their own human. They need their own account.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Wow.
Good
So
to know.
it will not work. Like,
Can you push the baby through?
you cannot. So that's also what I was terrified for. You have to walk through and carry him. And I'm like, oh my God, he's asleep.
He slept
Yeah.
through?
He woke up and he was looking around and then they put him back and he fell asleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
need this baby energy.
Oh my God.
But also, I think it really helps that it's nighttime. Had it been during the day, he'd be like, no, I'm up.
Yes,
like, what's
for
up? What are we
sure.
doing?
Yes.
I want to play. I want to run around.
Yeah.
But being that it's like a overnight flight, and I saw that hack on TikTok, and I'm like, it really did work. And so for our flight on the way back, we didn't have red eye. And because this worked out so well, we're like, we're changing our flight to the red eye. So we actually changed the flight back, and it was seamless again. And then we landed in LA like around 6, which is around the time he wakes up anyway. So we're like, this dude is on schedule. Like everything worked out. That is a great hack.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Noted for the next time, our first time that we go on a flight with.
Wait,
Saint.
do you know when that's going to be?
No, I don't know
Okay,
yet. Or like
TBD.
where. Yeah.
We're
But get
planning
that
a trip.
global entry.
Yes, I need that. Yeah.
Get that
'cause-
global-
Wait, so TSA also for baby?
Yeah, so if you get global entry, it
that
has
covers
TSA
everything.
pre-check. So yeah, get global entry for baby. And that's another thing, because when you travel out of country, when you get back, you have to wait in that long ass line.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
seeing all of the parents waiting in that line with all of the luggage and all of the everything with a baby that does not want to be in line,
Absolutely.
it's going to be hard.
So global
Wait,
entry.
so-
global entry, you walk through
walk
at LA.
through.
Beautiful.
All you want to do
How-
is get home, you get home.
Yes.
How long did it take to get approved for TSA and also passport
It's
stuff?
actually so easy for the baby, because as adults, like when we go, they like want to know like your history.
Right.
Like, have you ever been
Yeah.
convicted of?
Right.
Baby has no record. Baby is literally a baby. Baby can't even do the interview.
They're brand new.
Yeah. So
They
like
can't even do the interview.
when you go for the interview, like only one parent can go, and I was so excited because I like wanted to film the whole thing. They don't allow you to film anything. They don't allow phones.
crazy,
Yeah. Henry had to wait over there, so I was by myself with the baby, and they like can't ask you any questions.
What do they say?
Yeah, they don't. They're like, what would you be using this for? I'm like, for vacation, like for business. Say Santi wants to go on business trips.
On a
Like,
business trip,
what
yeah.
else? Yeah,
Conducting
so
a
it's the
business,
quickest interview,
Yeah.
and then it took like 4 weeks. It was really quick.
How long did it take you guys to get all of your passports? Because we need to get puppies this year.
Well, we had ours, so we just needed
Yeah.
to get his, and it took literally just the 4 weeks.
Okay.
But
Got it.
make the appointment, go to the post office. You can take photos there most of the time.
Yeah.
They're kind of like McDonald's ice cream machines. Like sometimes their
Working.
their photo taker is working. Photo taker. Their camera.
The thing that takes the photos is
Wait, what's a photo taker?
Camera. Mom brain.
mom brain
mom
for
brain.
sure.
Sometimes their camera's working. Like most of the time, it's not. So for us, of course, it was not. We had to go to Walgreens down the street, go back.
man.
But it honestly like is really fast. Otherwise,
Okay.
or you can take the pictures at home.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
your husband's a photographer.
Yeah.
You
Oh
can
my God,
Zaire
yeah.
can just
Your
take
husband's
Oh
a
my
photo
God,
taker.
amazing.
Photo taker.
Yes, yeah, a photo taker.
Yeah, so it's actually really easy and
Okay.
worth it. Like
Yeah.
when you get back and you see that long ass line, you do not want to wait in it.
Absolutely
I'm telling
not.
you. I'm
No.
telling you, you don't want to.
Especially young kids. Like I
Yeah.
feel like older kids, you can kind of explain it to them, but like 4 and under, like you will be in a mess.
No,
And
it'll
again,
be like, what?
yeah.
No.
You
No.
can't be playing in those lines. Like you can't be using your phone in
Yeah.
those lines. You can't be like you can't do anything in those lines. Like
Yeah.
it's serious business. So like having a small
Serious
kid that wants to
business.
run around, you just want to get your ass home.
Yeah.
It's
Good
worth
to
it.
know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so next episode, Countdown to Quinceañera. Next
Yes.
episode is episode 14, and we're going to go over all of the fun stuff with baby. Like,
Yes.
we've talked about all the scary stuff, all of the OMG things, and now it's the good times.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
we're
it's not
ready.
all scary.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Nightfeeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Nightfeeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.